Hey everyone, how we doing tonight, y'all? I hope y'all can hear me. We still practicing, okay? So I hope you guys can actually hear me. Y'all, let me get everything set up real quick, okay? Get everything set up real quick. How are we doing, y'all? How are we doing? Hey, beauties. What is going on? What is going on, you guys? I am also going to set up TikTok. Hey, you guys. How we doing, y'all? How is everyone doing? Y'all, this is my first time live also on TikTok. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me both ways. This is our second time going live with Dear Me, I Am Me. So, y'all, if y'all can't hear me, let me know. I gotta figure out like how to work the chat on TikTok. But let me know where you guys are coming from. How you feeling tonight? Where are y'all from? How we feeling? How we feeling, y'all? It's been a long day. I've been up since 4:35 this AM, but we in here, okay? We are in here. I gotta figure out how to put this chat up. I'm gonna learn all this like after tonight. I'm gonna learn more of this after tonight, y'all. Okay? We gonna do that. But before we get into tonight live, I want to pause for a second and and I want to ask you guys like how is everybody's mental health? How is everybody mental health going? I like to ask you guys this and stuff or whatever because you just never know how the other individual might be feeling. You know what I'm saying? So how is everybody mental on a scale of 1 to 10? How are we feeling, y'all? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna exit. Um, I'll be all right. I was about to say I want to exit out of this scene and stuff, whatever. But we good. How is everybody mental on a scale of 1 to 10 right now? Your girl's feeling really good. I am an 8. I believe last week we was also like an 8, but I'm feeling really good. High energy. Um, I just let stuff like bypass me. It is what it is type of thing. And like I always say, we just gonna keep on moving forward and do what we gotta do. You feel me? So give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I definitely need to figure out how to pull this chat up, but I am not sure. Hello, Bendy was a little. I hope I said your name right. How we doing tonight? How's your mental on a scale of 1 to 10? Check in with you, girl. How are we feeling tonight, y'all? So, I want you guys to, when I say how you guys are feeling, it's not what you've been telling people, right? It's not what you've been posting. It's about you being actually real with yourself on like, how are you honestly feeling from your heart, from your gut? Like, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So tonight isn't just about a live, right? This is a conversation that we are going to have with each other back and forth. We're going to be doing this Mondays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you guys go ahead and check in with Dear Me Live. Like I said, this is nothing but just conversation. Give me 1 second. This is about conversation, a back and forth type of thing, not just me. Hey, Jeanette. Hey, Ben. Hey, Pierre. How are y'all doing today? How's your mental on a scale of 1 to 10? That's what I've been asking everybody. This is a moment where we're going to stop running. right? We're going to stop distracting ourselves and we're going to finally sit down with ourselves and understand like, okay, I need to slow down. I've been moving a little bit too fast. You know what I'm saying? Like my mind is constantly on go. It's time for me to slow down a little bit. Because at some point in time in life, I had to sit down with myself and I had to be real, right? And not because everything was perfect, right? I'm keeping this 100% real with y'all. Hey, Queen Tug, how we doing, girl? Hi, La Pierre. How are we? I want to make sure I'm saying, hey, Young Savage 280, how we doing? But because at some point in time in my life, like I said, I had to sit down with myself and I had to be completely real. Because I was losing myself, y'all. I was completely just losing myself. But before we go any further, let me properly introduce myself. I know this is my first time on TikTok. This is our second time live on YouTube. Let me properly introduce myself. I am someone who is still learning. Okay. I am someone who is still learning. We are growing. We are growing. We are also healing. Okay. And we are going to do this together. And this is the right space where we can do it together. It's not about being perfect. It's just about being completely honest with yourself. Okay. So I hope you guys are ready. I got a couple things for us to do tonight. I hope you guys are ready. So go ahead, get your candle lit. Like I said, y'all see, I got my candle lit. Go ahead and brew you some tea, get you some water. Okay. Grab your journal if you are new to Dear Me. If you are returning to Dear Me, then you guys already should have your Dear Me journal worksheet that you guys can get on our website at raylewis.com. Go ahead and get your journal out. Like I said, if this is your first time on here, I'm redo this again. Grab your candle, get your candle lit, brew you some tea. We're creating a little vibe, okay? Brew you some tea. Find your little quiet space. Look, y'all, we've been moving all day today. We done gave the world our attention. Okay, let me slow down. We done gave the world our attention. Okay, so now we finna get ready and slow down and just tune in real quick. Okay, we're gonna be aligned with each other. Can we do that? Can I get some lights? Can we do that for a second? Okay. And because tonight, the reason why it's called Dear Me is because we are opening up our diaries, right? So before we go anywhere tonight, I gotta say a disclaimer, okay? Because like I've been saying before, people be peopling. So I gotta say a disclaimer before we do anything and go any further. You got that? Hey Bob, hey Chanel, hey Sherry, hey Charles, hey, is it Livia? How are everyone doing today? For the ones that are checking in, how's your mental on a scale of 1 to 10? How we doing, y'all? 1 to 10. 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest, 5 we all right, 7 we above average. How we doing? We got to check in with ourselves. Okay, y'all, so let me go ahead and get started on the disclaimer. Okay, so the Dear Me program is designed to encourage self-reflection, personal awareness, and emotional growth through guided journaling and intentional conversation. This program is intended for educational and inspirational purposes only. Okay? The information, prompts, and discussion shared within the Dear Me program are not intended to replace professional, medical, psychological, legal, or financial advice. Participation in this program does not establish a therapeutic or clinical relationship. While many participants find journaling and self-reflection supportive in their personal growth journey, individual experiences may vary. If you are currently experiencing severe emotional distress, mental health challenges, or require professional support, We strongly encourage you to seek guidance from a licensed therapist, a counselor, a qualified health provider. By participating in the Dear Me program, you guys are listening, okay? You're listening to this. You acknowledge that you are responsible for your own well being choices and personal development throughout the program. Throughout the program experience. The Dear Me program is created aimed to provide a supportive and empowering environment, but results, breakthroughs, and outcomes will differ for each individual. Okay, so take what resonates. I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this completely real. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and remember what you're carrying. You don't have to carry it tonight, okay? You don't have to carry it alone tonight, okay? So, most importantly, be gentle with yourself. Let's take a deep breath, release, and let's get into it. This is going to be fun, okay? This is going to be so much fun. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me pour me some tea. I made a spearmint and dandelion tea, y'all. It is really, really good, really, really refreshing. I chilled it earlier today. Okay. Give me 1 second. I don't know what I just did. Like I said, we are going to have fun tonight. I think I just mixed some stuff up. I don't even know how I did it. But I definitely just missed up some paperwork. So what you guys did today? Give me 1 second. What did you guys do today? Okay. What did you guys? YouTube, how we doing? How we doing, y'all? Okay. So one thing that I want to talk about is that, like, at some point in time in our lives, we wake up and we realize that, we don't fully understand ourselves anymore. Okay. We don't fully understand ourselves sometimes, right? And it's not in a bad way, right? I just feel as though, like, as you start to mature, your habits start to shift a little bit, right? Your tolerance starts to change, right? And what you used to accept, you don't necessarily, accept it like anymore, because you eventually start like just evolving, right? So, when you walk in a room, your aura is a little different, right? Like, you stand a little differently now, right? You dress a little different. You speak a little differently, right? And as you start to, develop a different momentum in life, things can start to become a little confusing, right? Give me 1 second. Things can start to be a little confusing, right? And a lot of times, it's something that I feel as though, like, no one really prepares for, because you start to outgrow a version of yourself that at one point in time in your life, like, it felt like home, right? It felt like home. Like, you woke up and you was like, you know what? Oh, I am not this person anymore. Like, I don't like doing this. I don't like doing that. I do not like this. Like, no, I cannot go out with you. No, I do not want to eat this. No, I don't want to be in this career field anymore. Like, you just wake up and you just a completely different person, right? See, one thing I felt to realize is that growth Okay, so let me slow down a little bit. Let me slow down a little bit. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. My mic is in the way. Growth. Hold on. Growth. Oh, dang it. Like I said, y'all, we are new with this setup, okay? So we're gonna figure it out like as we go. Like I said earlier, nobody is perfect in here. Nobody is perfect, right? So see, growth doesn't always look like progress, y'all. Sometimes it feels a little lost, right? It feels a little confusing, right? And you feel a little lost of, like I said earlier, of what you thought was normal, right? Even loss of the people that once knew the old version of you, right? How many of us in here have felt as though, like, a lot of people is still in love with the old version of us, right? Not the person we are today, right? And truth be told, they're not going to understand that person yet because you're still learning that person, right? So how many of us know somebody who still speaks of you, of the person that you was a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago, maybe 5 years ago, right? So and now you feel as though like you're in this in between space, excuse me, not of who you were, right? But the person that you are currently, the person that hasn't fully settled, right? Because that person is still figuring out their purpose in life, right? You're still figuring it out, right? Like you can't explain to people, like I am this person when you're just not learning her, or you're just not learning him, right? How many of us understand that? How many of us like feel like that, right? So I want you guys to talk to me, okay? Like I said, this is a conversation that we're having, like, back and forth, okay? So give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. But here's the truth. Here's the truth, okay? You're not lost. You're just being updated, okay? You're just being updated, right? This is what I feel as though like evolution looks like, right? And as you start to evolve into this new person, it's not going to be easy. We want it to be easy to us. We want it to be fed to us, right? But this person that we're aiming towards, it's not going to be easy, y'all. We got to climb up that mountain, right? And it's going to be uncomfortable, right? But who likes to be uncomfortable, right? We want to be snuggled up on that couch with that comforter, right? With that pillow. We want to be comfortable, right? But in order for us to get up that mountain, right, we have to be uncomfortable. And that is what evolution looks like, right? So tonight, we're not becoming someone new, right? We are reintroducing ourselves to the person we are today. To the person we are today, right? Like I tell my Heavenly Father, I'm meeting you where I am today, right? So we are reintroducing ourselves to who we are today. How y'all feeling about that? How y'all feeling about that? Talk to me. How are y'all feeling about that? Give me 1 second. Hey, Bob. Give me 1 second. I'm drinking some tea real quick. How are we feeling right about that? How are we feeling about that? All right. Because to be honest, right now, a lot of us are feeling lost. I'm here to speak honesty. I'm here to speak truth. Okay. A lot of us are lost. Okay. Not because we don't know who we are. Okay. But because we're still trying to hold on to the person we used to be. Right. You still trying to hold on to the person you used to be. Right. And guess what happens when you try to hold on to the person you used to be? It creates tension like a rubber band. Huh? You said what? I'm on here.
I'm saying I'm logged in.
Give me 1 second, y'all.
Error.
I don't know what happened. Well, I guess I just exit out of this one then.
I mean, you can hear it, so if you want to just keep streaming, you can hear it. You can hear it on YouTube, but just can't see. You keep talking. I'm gonna mess with it while you're talking.
Okay. Well, something going on with my YouTube, y'all, but we gonna keep this thing moving, okay? But like I said, it creates a tension, right? And I think it started like, I don't know, but it creates a tension. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Okay, you don't try to figure out why you're talking.
I mean, I don't know how you're gonna try to figure out while it's right here. Should I take this off and just let the computer do what it's gonna do?
Oh, maybe it might help. Keep talking. Just keep doing your thing. I'm gonna just kind of IT and the tech. I'll be.
Did you check on TikTok too?
On TikTok, it looks like you're fine, but it looks like on YouTube, you can't see it. Just keep going. Then I'm not here like I'm
Right? How can I not pretend?
production.
Okay, but but like I said, it creates tension, right? And it's because parts of you have already outgrown the part of you that's still trying to be familiar, right? So I want to go into this a little further, but before I go into this a little further, I want to go back because, it's thrown off a little bit. Like I said, right now, many of us are feeling lost, right? Not because of who we are, but because of the version that we, as of right now, we do not know, right? And we're still trying to hold on to that person, right? And the reason why we're holding on to that person is because it creates it starts to create like I said, like tension, right? Tension of the person that you have already outgrown, right? The part of you that's still trying to be familiar, right? So, like I said, I want to go into this a little further. Truth is, you have already outgrown certain environments, right? It can be a person, it can be a place, it can be a thing. It can be whatever. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Go ahead.
Um. Uh-huh.
I don't want to mess up. Is that messing up?
Okay. You have already outgrown like certain environments, right? But I think that a lot of us still show up out of habit. Okay. But as you start to become aware, you start to realize that your priorities have now shifted a little bit, right? Is it starting to make sense a little bit? Hey Jasmine, how we doing? How we doing, girl? Hey Janae, how we doing? Our habit starts to shift a little bit, right? But as you start to become aware, you realize that you are not. Hold on, let me go back. As you start to become aware, you realize that your priorities have shifted, right? But you haven't permitted yourself to move differently yet. That's what I want to say. That's where I want to go with it. You haven't permitted yourself to move differently, right? You still enjoy doing what you used to do. Even though parts of you want to move further, you're still enjoying the old version of you, right? So the things you used to enjoy, you realize it don't hit the same, right? I'm gonna give y'all a prime example. You chose a healthier lifestyle, right? You've been on this healthier lifestyle for about 90 days, right? Then you turn around and you eat some pizza. Pizza used to be your favorite, right? You turn around, you eat some pizza. That pizza don't hit the same no more, right? That's because your priorities have now shifted, right? The things that you used to enjoy don't hit the same anymore. And you can't quite figure out why. You can't figure out why, right? And if we're being honest, sometimes you're not confused. You're just being in transition, honey. You're just in transition and that's it, right? So I want to ask you guys something, okay? I want to ask you guys something. Give me 1 second. I want to ask you guys something. What version of you are you still trying to hold on to tonight? What version of you are you still trying to hold on tonight, right? The version of you that you feel as though you have already outgrown. What version of you are you still trying to hold on to? Because remember, like we said last week on our first live, there's a page in our live where it's not about reacting, it's not about judging, and it's also not about interrupting, right? And give me 1 second, y'all. And you don't always have to understand what's going on at that moment, right? Because at the end of the day, it comes a time in your life where you're going to have to sit down with yourself, right? And you're going to have to filter out the truth, right? It comes a time in your life where you're going to have to uncover the real emotion that's holding on to you underneath. Okay? Like I said, we're just going to be completely honest tonight, all right? And here's the deeper part when it comes to that. When you hold on to an old version of yourself, okay? It's usually not just about comfort, okay? It's about the things that we have never said, or should I say the things we have never mentioned. It's the things that we have never processed. It's this thing that we have carried quietly just to keep going. Because sometimes we don't release the old version of us, okay? Because that version of us is still holding on to unspoken weight. It's still holding on to unspoken weight, right? So as you're thinking about the version of you that you have start to like outgrown, I want you to step a little deeper with this, okay? Let's step a little deeper into what we're talking about tonight, all right? I have a question for you guys. Open up your journals. Open up your journals. This is where we're starting to become face to face with ourselves. Face to face with ourselves. What is something you've been carrying emotionally that you haven't expressed yet? Okay. What is something that you have been carrying emotionally that you haven't expressed yet? This is our number 2 on our Dear Me worksheet. We went over the first one last week. Today we're going to go over question 2. Okay. What is something you've been carrying emotionally that you haven't expressed quite yet? What is it? Write it down. What is something you've been carrying emotionally that you haven't expressed just yet? Right? And excuse me. And if that question has hit you in any type of way, put a mirror in the chat or say me. Or say me. Put a mirror in the chat or say me, because we're becoming face to face with ourselves. Okay. And now that you're feeling this question, right? It's time to pay attention to what feels aligned versus forced. Because those are two different things. What feels aligned and what feels forced. Okay. So reintroducing yourself to yourself isn't about just having all the answers. It's about being open to discovery. Are y'all understanding that? I'm gonna re-say that again. Reintroducing yourself isn't about having all the answers figured out, okay? It's about being open to rediscovery, right? Sometimes you have to spend time alone intentionally, right? You can't give everybody your attention. Sometimes you just got to put yourself in that quiet space and you have to be by yourself. Okay? You have to learn yourself by being with yourself. Sometimes a lot of us learn being with ourselves when we're with our family, when we're with our friends, when we're with our spouse, when we're with our partners. But you got to learn to be you when you by yourself. Okay. And one more thing that I want to speak on tonight before I end off tonight's live is you have to excuse me, you have to allow yourself to change. You have to allow yourself to change, right? You have to allow yourself to outgrow, right? You are allowed to not be who you used to be. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay for you to evolve. It is okay for you not to not speak to certain people, right? For you not wanting to be in another environment. It is okay that you want more in life. Stop holding yourself back. Like I said, this is reintroducing yourself to yourself. Stop holding yourself back, because ain't nobody holding you back but you, baby. Okay, so this is about, you giving yourself permission to meet you where you are, not where you think you should be. Okay? And remember that feeling deep down, and remember, I'm gonna start over. Remember that you're having that feeling deep down, right? That strong feeling deep down, right? It hurts, right? Because you're having that tension where one person wants to evolve, that one of your emotions wants to evolve, and the other emotion wants to hold back, right? So you're having that feeling deep down, right? Guess what? Now it's time for you to release that. Now it's time for you to release that. Stop holding on, because you deserve better. Like I said, reintroducing yourself to yourself, right? So this is where we are tonight, right, y'all? This is where we are tonight, right? So one thing I want to say before I get off of here, right, is that, the Dear Me program is where we're going to continue to keep on doing the work, right? Like I said, mental health is at an all-time high, right? There's no more for real, like human to human, like connection, right? It is, okay, thank you. Thank you, Janae. It's time for us to have that human to human like connection, right? It's time for us to realize that you do not have to go through things by yourself. because you deserve more, right? You don't have to be in control all the time, y'all. You do not have to be in control all the time, right? So this is not just something that we just gonna have, okay, a one conversation type of thing. This is not what we're doing, right? The Dear Me is about consistent check-ins, right? It's about the worksheets that we're having, right? It's about the worksheets, right? It's about the meetups that we're going to have online, right? And also in person, right? It's about creating real moments like this, right? Somebody where you can be honest with, right? I can be honest with y'all can be honest with me. That's what it's about, right? It's about reconnecting with yourself. That's the most important thing. It's about reconnecting with yourself, right? Because it takes intention, okay? So you guys, this is our, I know there was like a little couple like hiccups and stuff, but like I said, this is my first time like on TikTok and stuff. If you guys don't know about me, I actually had dyslexia when I was a young kid and stuff, and I really didn't like speak to people and stuff. And I'm in my 90 days, and I woke up and I said, you know what, this is what we doing. This is what we doing, right? So, like I said, it's about evolving. It's about becoming a better person. It's about being intentional. And we're going to be on here every Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I know YouTube, our video went out and stuff. We got to figure out exactly like what happened. But at the end of the day, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Dare Me Live. I really do appreciate you guys. Like I said, today was about, getting back to you, right? Like I said, it was about understanding yourself, right? Give me 1 second, y'all. It was about reintroducing yourself to yourself, right? Never forgetting that, right? It's about evolving, right? It's about knowing where your mental health is, on a daily basis, on a scale of 1 to 10. Rate yourself so you can know exactly where you are, okay? So, you guys, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Dear Me Live. If y'all want to know more, then just go to thegraylewis.com, you guys, and just check out the program and stuff. We also, if you want to download the worksheet, we have the worksheet on there and y'all can just grab there. But I'm not here to force anything. I'm just here to say, hey, boo. And I'm going to see y'all later. Thank you guys for tuning in to your girl.